Hey guys, I'm back to do my update video. I do have some progress to show you. Not a lot has happened life-wise. Just been a normal summer week. I got to stitch twice with Connie this week. I've been on virtual stitcher stitching some, and I've been working on my magical stitches homework. Not really a lot to update on other than the stitching. So it was a very relaxing, comfortable week. So I'll just jump right in. I did work a little bit on my Starry night. Unfortunately, I did not get a picture of the before. I stitched 30 minutes for one day on this project. So, as you know, I was trying to do the daily challenge on this project and stitch one strand per day. Well, with the vacation and everything and the holidays, I got behind. And then the further behind I got and the more catch up I was going to have to play, the more daunting it seemed. So finally on Thursday night, I decided I'm throwing that to the wind, or Wednesday night into Thursday, I don't know. It was stitching for Thursday. It was 12 a.m. on Thursday. I decided I'm going to throw that out because it's causing me to not stitch on it at all, and I'm just going to start with Thursday. So I stitched 30 minutes on it Thursday. I plan to stitch on it 30 minutes, well, one strand for Friday, and then 30 minutes on Saturday after midnight. And then either do one strand or 30 minutes from here on out. Like I said, I did not get a before picture because I didn't realize that I was going to work on it. I just kind of pulled it out and started working on it. But I did get 30 minutes in, and it was in some more of the yellow by this moon. Guys, it is taking forever to finish out that moon. My light's kind of blowing things out today. I may have to move it. But there is my progress. Not a whole bunch. Like I said, just 30 minutes. Hopefully next week I'll be able to do the strand a day, or some days 30 minutes and have more significant stitching. I did have my stitch number on this. I want to say it was like 64 stitches. Nothing crazy. But like I said, I keep this in this bag and I keep it next to my chair. That way I can get to it whenever. Now, with that said, I kind of went off the path this week. Connie came over Wednesday and Thursday and stitched, and I worked on Anne both days. I needed to catch up on Anne, so I worked on Anne both days, even though Connie only worked on her one day because she's almost finished. I told her she was ahead of me. But those magical stitches homework was on, whichever proper word that is, our project list. We had to, let's see if I can find my whip list to show you. We had to have a whip list or a whip album. And then what they did was they chose two numbers from our whip list. It's not going to work because I'm connected to my camera. They chose the numbers book for 12. Grimwald, cannot say that because of the W in your R. Speech impediment. But you had to either choose your project number 1, your project number 2, or your project number 12. And you had to stitch on 2 of those for 500 stitches each. Well, none of those were Anne because I didn't list them in my whip list because it was the one that I could only work on with Connie. But I wanted to work on Anne. So I started looking through the extra credit, and you could stitch on something that had portraits in it. So I chose to work on Anne for 500 stitches, and I got 504 stitches in. So this is where I was before I worked on her this week. And I'm really excited about the progress I got done. I did not count any of the back stitch as stitches. So because of that, I have some extra. So as you can see, I finished out this top block that was giving me such an issue. And you can now see that it's a bed and a book, probably the Bible, and a cross and a candle. And I got that back stitching done. And then I finished this corner, and as you can see, it's cherry cordial. What we find out is wine, or later, cooking wine. I got that back stitch in. And then I started working down here on this bottom block, which is the house. Green Gables itself. My issue here is that this is, the called for fabric is white, and mine, as you can see, is blue. So you're not supposed to stitch the white on the house. It's just supposed to be white. So I am going to have to go back in after I finish everything out, and that way I know I'm not like missing out the door or any of the flowers and that kind of thing, and actually stitch the house white so that it doesn't, it's not a blue house. I guess I could leave it blue, but when I imagine Anne of Green Gables' house, I don't imagine a blue and green house. I imagine a white and green house. And I think it even talks about it being white and green. I know it talks about the Green Gables, obviously. But I think she even talks, it's been a while since I read the book. But I think she even talks about the house being white. So, once I finish that, I will probably move over to this square and then do Marilla last. This top border, oh my gosh, guys, there are so many mistakes. It's not even funny. When I finished this, I actually said, watch your ears if you have kids around. I finished that damn block. And I told Connie that I was going to cuss on my video this week because of this block. But there that is. Apparently I have floss everywhere. I'm going to put it back in my bag. This is stored in my Momly bag. I've already shown this. I know I showed this to you last week when I showed my bags. Okay. I worked a little bit on my test stitch project that I can't show you. I got about 2 or 3 strands in while binge watching Stranger Things 3 with my husband. I worked extra this week. I worked Saturday, Sunday, Monday this week instead of just my Saturday, Sunday to make up for some vacation time, and you don't care about that. Anyway, because of that, we only got one night to watch TV, which was Tuesday, and that was after a movie night with my son, so we only got to watch like 2 of the episodes. So next Monday and Tuesday, we were planning to finish out the season, and I'm going to stitch on the test stitch those 2 days and hopefully get a lot more progress on that. And then as soon as I can, as soon as I'm cleared by the artist, I will share with you guys, what it looks like when it's finished. Next, I went to homework, and my SWIP number 12 was my water wheel. This is what it looked like when it's finished. So this is in a pamphlet called Just a Little Bit Country, made by Judy M. Gibbs. Adding letters, inserting letters, I don't know. I will insert a picture of the actual water wheel itself that this is to represent. My brother has a picture of it. You can't see the front of it. I may insert another picture if I can. I don't know. We'll see what I can do. Because it won't be my picture, so I can't insert. No, I can't, because that would be copyright. I'll insert the picture my brother took of it. So, like I've mentioned before, this is a water wheel in a town that's close to us. And my family always went there a lot. And so it means a lot to me. And I'm working on this for... just because of that. So, I decided to do, this was my number 12 project for Magical Stitches. However, I'm also in the 30-day journal by Cheryl. And 2 of her prompts for this week, one was to stitch on that you went to a food court and to stitch something on something to do with the food that you brought back. And I put this because my favorite restaurant serves an amazing breakfast, and you can't have grits. You can't have breakfast in the South without grits. And I think this was a grist meal. I'm pretty sure. Or corn cornmeal, grist mill. So, then the other prompt was to stitch on something that you would paint, like a sunset or flowers. And I again chose this one because the picture I will show you can't see it, but the sunset is amazing if you can catch it at this place. So, and you would paint that. So this is where I was beforehand. It's been a while since I've been to the mill. I need to take my son. We need to take a day trip and take my son. This is where I am now. As you can see, I'm just filling in these grasses. So I'm about halfway through. I finished one prompt, 200 stitches for Cheryl's group. I'll finish a second 200 stitch prompt, which will mean 400, and then I'll do the 100 extra for magical stitches. So I'm about halfway through the magical stitches homework. The next thing that I work on will be pumpkin swirl for, I didn't say pumpkin squirrel. I usually say pumpkin squirrel. Will be pumpkin swirl for magical stitches, and that's because I think it's my project number 2 or 1 or 2. So that'll be the next project I work on for homework. And guys, that's it as far as progress that I can show you. Again, vacation didn't zap my mojo. Excuse me, I've got the hiccups. It kind of zapped my routine. So I'm having to get used to stitching, that way again. So, haul. I do have some haul to show you. First of all, I have this. It's not boring, but I mean, it's boring kind of, but I'm really excited about it. I got this off of Stash Unload. It is an entire yard of Norton Crafts 25 count Lugana in new khaki. An entire yard. Just some brown new khaki linen. But I got an exceptional deal on it. Crazy deal. So much so that I had clicked off of it and I was like, I don't need that much fabric. And then I went back later and it was still there and I was like, fine, it's meant to be, I'm gonna get it. The same lady also had some 28 count Confederate gray linen. Somebody had already snatched that up though before I could grab it. Another piece of haul, as you can probably see behind me, is a new stitchy chair. I'll insert a picture of it without me in it. If you notice, I don't have my blanket up here. The last one was like the bonded fake leather pleather, as I called it, and it had started to peel. So I had to get a new chair. This one's got amazing lumbar support. Funny story. So I saw this chair, told my husband about it, and he was like, yeah, we do need to get you a new chair. We'll go looking this, when we're off again, blah, blah, blah. So we go and we spend a day looking for a chair. We went to 4 or 5 different stores, and I ended up getting the first chair we looked at. With that said, excuse me. With that said, at one of the furniture stores, there was a chair that was so super fancy, and it was cream colored, and it was leather. An amazing chair. Didn't have as much lumbar support, which that's what I keep telling myself. But it was on like 66% off clearance. Like, ridiculously good deal. The story was either that somebody had purchased it and didn't have room for it, so they brought it back, so they couldn't sell it at full price, or either they weren't sure, or they had sold the set but not the recliner, and the set was discontinued, so they couldn't get another set to sell with, so then it was just the recliner. And I was really liking that chair, and I was gonna pick it out, and I sat in it, and my husband goes, but it doesn't rock. It's not a rocking chair. Does it need to rock? And I was like, well, no, I don't really rock when I cross stitch. It doesn't have to rock. And, I'm still checking out the chair, looking at it. It had like the electric recline and like the little USB port for your phone. And about then my son goes, Well, if it doesn't rock, how are you going to rock me when I don't feel well? So I had to rock. So then I went back and got this chair, which, like I said, the lumbar support's much better. So, but I love it. I'm having to get used to it. It kind of sits back a little further than I'm used to, so I'm having to get used to that part of it. And then I got my monthly installment of, well, no, that's not it. Hang on, let's go to the right thing here. I'm saying one thing, showing another. Have I ever done a Flosstube video before? I got my monthly installment shipment, there we go, of my color and cottons. So we have Revere, sorry, my tablets, the sounds are on my tablet. And there's this kind of off gray, off white color that's showing pretty true to color. Maybe a little more blue. No, I can't get my white. There we go. We have Mystic. Stairway. I love this green. Look at all the variations in that one. I'm afraid this one's going to blow out the camera. Bumblebee. Oh, it didn't. And last but not least, Parlor. Definitely not a leaf. I thought it was funny, because I don't know if this was on purpose, but I got these like July the 5th. I don't know if she did this on purpose or not, but we have red, white, and blue. Kind of a blue. It's kind of a purpley blue, but it's blue. And then I was gifted these by Connie G. This is Shepherd's Bush. Just focusing on my face. Taste Summer. And then Little House Needleworks. This is one called Pumpkin Alphabet. I think I might actually do this on orange fabric and then black floss instead. And then, as the title of this video suggests, the ink circle, the Dragonfly ink circles that I didn't know I had. As some of you, if you're in Virtual Stitchers, know, we are doing a stitch along starting on July the 19th. And we're going to do ink circles. Every so often we have a designer that we do a live video and we all stitch the same designer if we want to. It can be a new project or it can be an old project, or you can just stitch whatever you want. But on July the 9th we are doing a ink circles. So I was chatting with him last night on Virtual Stitchers and I was like, okay, I'm going to get out the ink circles I need and see what it would be on that 25 count linen. I think it would be perfect. And the one I was going to do was this damask square. Because I thought that would be really pretty on that brown. I love how this looks like lace. I thought it would be perfect, which it would be. I love this piece. As I'm digging through, I've gotten to the point, honey, don't listen to this part, that I guess I've kind of forgotten what was in my stash. And as I'm digging through, I realized that I have like 9 ink circles. Most of them were gifted to me by somebody who's finished them. But still, I have like 9 ink circles. And then out of nowhere, I remembered that I had this one. Or I saw this one and remembered that I had it. It's the Green Damsel. It's the Dragonfly one from Market, guys. I think last year. How could I not stitch this one, you know? And then I was like, well, I gotta order the fabric and the, you know, the floss, and Sammy pointed out, I bet you have some coloring cotton that could work. So then on virtual, I sat there and I dug through my fabric and my floss, and we decided together on what I would stitch this on and in. So I have, my colors are, where'd that go? Orange Maze by Victoria Motto Sampler Shop. Wood Nymph and Black Walnut. Show them all together. So I have one Victoria Motto and 2 coloring cottons. I'm going to put this on 36 count oaken. If I picture this plus. And guys, you see these colors together and you think, wow, those don't really go together. This is not something that I would normally stitch. There we go. There, that's really getting the orange right there. Not colors I would normally stitch together. Then you put it on this oaken fabric. Now this is 36 count linen. I do have some 32 count of a different lot, and it's a lot lighter. See if I can get it to focus. The orange is going to blow it out. Let's see here. Let's do this first so you can get the brown. And then add the orange. There we go. Those colors together on that fabric to me look so much better. They're not quite so contrasty. And then of course I will show you again the design. I'm so excited about starting this. I almost want to start it now. I think Lacey was like, well, go ahead and start that one now and then start, you know, the damask squares. Am I saying that? Damask. My southern accent was to say damask. Damask squares, you know, when we all do it. I'm like, no, I don't need that many starts. So, there are my threads and my fabric. And here's the actual design. So, July 19th, if you guys want to join us, jump on over to Virtual Stitchers. We're the group on Facebook. And we also now have a YouTube channel just for Virtual Stitchers, and that's where we post our live events. Myself, Lisa from Tree, what is her, not Magic Pond, that's your Grisa. Why can't I think of her name? Something Tree. I cannot think of your channel name. Something Tree Stitchers. Magic Tree Stitchers. I know you're telling me your name right now. I'll know it. I'll insert it. And we do live events. There's actually one going on right now. It's for the Challenge Yourself style, where you just work on something that's challenging. But that's where we post all of our live events. But anyway, guys. Oh, before I forget. If you're interested in winning this pattern, look back to my last video, because the next video you'll find out more information about it. On my last video, I'm doing a giveaway. I tell you what you have to, you know, say to be entered into the giveaway. And next video will be the one I actually do the drawing. This is Thomas Kincaid's Beside Still Waters. And this is just the mock-up. I have seen this online, pictures of this stitched, and it's so much prettier. This does come as a kit. This is just the chart. Just the chart. There aren't any markings or anything like that on the chart. There are some half stitches, French knots, and I think possibly some tweeding or blending. Tweeds. Yep. Oh, and some lazy daisies. So, as always, guys, I really appreciate you taking the time to watch my videos. I appreciate the comments you give. If you have any questions, feel free to ask them. I'll try to answer them the best I can, or direct you to where you can find the answers to those questions if I don't know them. Take care, guys, and happy stitching.